Hello there. We're back. And yes, I am further away today. So, don't panic. I am very small, but I'm still Lily. Hello. And we have our regular crew back, which is Iain. I don't know.
We built this city.
Oh, God.
We built this city on rock and roll.
I wouldn't go too far. You might get this video copyright claimed.
It was out of tune, so, it doesn't matter. Doesn't count. We also have Katie, my baby.
Oh, I've got hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate is always nice. And we have the one and only...
What? He didn't say his name.
Did you forget his name?
Didn't say his name.
I said your name. I said we have the one and only Tom.
Say my name. You're goddamn right.
No, you said you have the one and only, and then you said nothing else, and then went.
No, I said Tom.
You did it.
I was like, wow.
It doesn't matter.
Needs no introduction, apparently.
Yeah, he's Tom. Everyone knows he's Tom. There you go. That's the explanation. But anyway, we're back. We're talking about Daredevil Born Again. Again. And I don't know what's happening today. We're here to discuss episode 4, and we're going to start with the non-spoiler review. So if you haven't seen the episode, you're good. So let's talk about the episode without spoilers very briefly. Let's start with Iain. What did you think?
I think I should go last. You should all go first.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Interesting. Tom, what did you think?
It's probably the episode I've enjoyed the most so far, even though it's probably the most inconsistent. There was this one I felt the most like it was two creative visions clashing. And I enjoyed mostly the second half and how like the tone it was going for and like how it was all coming together. So I'm hoping that's what we get now going forward. But yeah, overall, most enjoyed, but it was also very inconsistent.
Interesting. Okay. Katie?
I thought it was fantastic.
No surprises here. Yes.
I said, what a fantastic fucking episode. Perfect? No, still not yet, but it is damn good.
That's the non-spoiler.
Yeah,
Okay.
everything else I have written down as spoilers.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Definitely enjoyed this one the best out of the 4 that we've seen already, for obvious reasons, if you know me. But if you don't, then you're going to get to it when we talk about spoilers. And I kind of agree with Tom still a little bit. It's still a bit inconsistent for me as well, but it is definitely getting better and getting towards the things that I want from Daredevil. So yeah, so far we're heading into the right direction, and now we're gonna ask Iain again. Iain, please tell us.
This episode is a fucking mess from top to bottom.
Oh, you're gonna be very critical today then.
It's absolute chaos confined into one episode of TV. It is incoherent. It doesn't know what it wants to do. And yeah, there's a couple of good like pops. You can pop up for good things to happen, but in general, it doesn't make sense as an episode.
May chaos take the world!
Today's going to be a very interesting conversation. I can already see it on Katie's face.
I don't understand any of you.
Why? We're very understandable people.
I don't see the inconsistency. I actually think
I don't see the coherence, so we're in a really good position. Honestly,
But
I
this
have
is
so many issues with this episode.
it's good because this is how good conversations and good arguments come out. So we're good. We're good. It would be boring if we all would say that, oh, it is fantastic. So this is good. This is good. This is a good starting point. And we're going to get into the spoilers now. So if you haven't seen episode 4 of Daredevil Born Again, then this is your cue to go and watch it and then come back and watch us talk about it because we're very funny and smart and all that stuff. Or maybe not. I don't know. It's just, but we're funny. That's for sure. We're gonna get into spoilers in 3, 2, 1, go.
Boom, boom, boom.
Boom, 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 boom.
But if we're going to be funny idea, how about me and Yuli? We just don't say anything and just let Ian and Katie argue for like an hour.
I think I'm too
I
tired
like that.
for that.
No,
Now
it's
you're
all
gonna
right.
get into it. I know you, Katie. You're gonna get into it.
No, I just don't. Sure, I'll get into it, but it's I don't have it in me to just fight.
Round 1, fight! Hadouken!
Is my
But
point.
it's okay. How about we start? And yeah, I won't even do our regular like let's go from beginning to end. I'm just gonna start with Ian, and
Mhm.
I will let you talk first, and please tell us what you mean exactly with spoilers this time, so Katie can respond, and Tom and I can grab popcorn and enjoy.
I mean, it's the whole episode. It doesn't know what it wants to do. For the whole episode, it just doesn't know what it wants to do. Like we start off. I don't even remember where we start off, but we try a bit of the police are bad. Oh, I'm gone. The police aren't bad because the guy didn't shoot him. I'm gone. The police are bad again because of stealing some fecking cereal. Oh, we want to do some sort of meta commentary on how the prison situation is fucked up. Yeah, that's fine. We want to talk about Matt's a hoe, but Matt's not really a hoe because he's monogamous. Then we want to talk about the Fisk in Red Hook, but also Fisk in trust issues, and being able to forgive someone but not forgive most people. It's all over the place. And then if we want to get into the Punisher stuff, you can absolutely tell that that is shoehorned in from a later episode. It doesn't make sense where it is, and it only draws my focus into. I actually care more about Frank at the moment than I do anyone else. I want to know why he's all bloodied and battered. I don't really care about Matt's struggles at the moment. It just draws my focus onto him. Um, I thought the big speech was a bit disingenuous. The foggy stuff is weird because literally the last episode another person said his name and it didn't have any effect whatsoever. It doesn't make none of it makes sense to me. It was just jumping all around all over the place and it didn't know what to do. It was incoherent. I mean, general direction of the story, where we're going, fine, but like this episode did not come together whatsoever.
That's a lot of information to get in 30 seconds.
Okay. I can see what you mean in some cases, and in other cases, I think this is your own bias clouding you to just not reading the text properly.
To call you stupid would be an insult to stupid people.
Well,
The man-
I could say the same thing about you. So we will get there.
I haven't said anything yet. I see what when it comes to Frank, I don't think it's been really obviously taken from another episode.
But they have actually
But-
said that it is from another
No,
future
'cause
episode. Yes,
the
he did.
stuff-
He did say that.
No, that's not what I said. So I sent something to everybody the other day from Empire. They did their little thing on Born Again last month that said they'd filmed the first 6 episodes, but everything that was to do with Frank is new, just brand new. That's what I said, which means it hasn't been taken from like a later episode.
There is another quote where he said, "We originally filmed it for a future episode, and we brought it forward because we thought it made sense more here."
Where did it say that?
I saw it.
I do agree that this should have happened later. Before you get on me. properly. I think that it happens too soon in the context of where Matt is right now, because we haven't had enough build up to that, like, having an emotional effect. As much as of an emotional effect. I think that the stuff with the police is actually becoming more consistent, in my opinion. That just because Officer Powell didn't shoot him, which was my thought, doesn't mean that he's not an asshole. It doesn't negate anything that happened before. I think it's very consistent in the way that it is showing the police. He's arguing that he's an honorable man because his father and all of his brothers are, and all this sort of stuff.
I got family.
Doesn't mean it's true. Just because he's saying it doesn't mean that that's like actually what's being, like, in that scene he's being arrogant. He's being like he's acting like he's the good guy, which is the way that it, like, that's how that works. Right? With cops, especially when they come from like a long line of cops, they think, because this is like a family business, I can do no wrong. That's the message that they're putting forward. And the stuff to do with looking after Leroy, thank you, 100%. Leroy.
So let's Leroy Jenkins. Oh my God, he just ran in. Let's go.
That wasn't so much a commentary on the policing system as it was the judicial system, which
potato.
No, it's not potato.
It is it is, yeah.
The fact that I think what that scene does a couple of things. It does something where it shows you, it's making a real life point about the nature of like poverty, and the fact that especially if you're black and you live under the poverty line, you are being you basically not allowed out of the pit, right? The system is designed against people moving upwards because that's the nature of capitalism. You can't have somebody at the top unless there's a lot of people at the bottom, right? And the point of those scenes was to humble Matt into, recognizing that the law, the thing that he's been putting all his faith in for the past year after Foggy's death, it's a reminder that it's one of the many reminders in this episode he has as to why he became Daredevil in the first place. So it adds a lot of like layers into like pushing him back to a place where he will eventually put the mask back on. It's good storytelling. It's good building.
I'll rebut that part really quickly. I don't see anything in this episode that pushes him to putting the mask back on.
I will also just say that I think Ian is correct, because how the article says is it's no secret that Disney Plus's Daredevil Born Again underwent significant overhaul after filming 6 episodes. Berntal was approached with that first incarnation of the show, which felt more like a procedural and less connected to the mythology of the original Daredevil series on Netflix. So that's how he was originally approached. So originally he wasn't in Daredevil Born Again. No, that's
right. Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He was initially approached, and he didn't like for John specifically. He didn't like the direction that they were going to put Frank in. So he said no. Yeah. So he's not that. I think that's stuff that they put in this time is all brand new.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the implication, which means it wasn't taken from an earlier episode and put in here. It was just put in here. I think maybe it was put in the wrong place.
Yeah, like, taken from a future episode. Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying.
No, I was, because that's what I've seen. I'll find the article later. I'll put a screenshot.
So that's a case where that scene had already been shot for a later episode, and it was only after we'd done the things together that that the producers realized, oh, you know what? That scene should happen all the way back here.
Wow.
Vindication.
I just want to try and explain why I was thinking that they feel like 2 separate episodes. Because I didn't think it was incoherent. I just think the tone and like style was inconsistent mostly. Like for the first half where it's dealing with Hector Ayala's death and niece.
Yes.
Like that felt like very disconnected, because like I don't believe Matt met his niece at all, because it was his partners that met Hector's family, and then like is this just Matt being a good guy? But then like he seemed really like invested in her as like her emotions. I'm like, I think this is we lost something here. And it just came a bit out of the blue for me, which is still sad, but I'm like, okay. And then with especially like the start of the Fisk stuff in this episode, like going to the school and the singing, which I fucking hated because I was dying of secondhand embarrassment.
Agreed.
Just cringe.
I like it, but not a lot. I don't like it.
That stuff was consistent with itself, which was fine. But then after the second half, where Matt goes to the scene of Hector's death, finding Frank, all that stuff felt like it was from the later shoots, regardless of where they came from. And I just felt like it worked enough. And honestly, the new bits saved the episode a bit for me. But like after the halfway point, that whiplash I felt tonally and stylistically just kind of hit me a bit harder, I think.
I know I haven't got whiplash because my head was in contact with the headrest in the correct way. You were leaning forward.
I don't know why that is, or probably do know why, but can't verbalize it. But that's why I think it was inconsistent. Not through character, tone, and all that stuff, characterization, but just like how it looked and felt.
Yeah, I think for me as well, the problem was mostly how much they wanted to put in here. Like, I didn't really understand why we needed that Leroy storyline, to be honest. It just didn't make sense to me. Like, if it would have been completely the main focus of the entire episode, which it could have been because it's not that important, in my opinion, in a series like this, then it's different. But this way, it felt like that it just took time away from the more important things that should be in focus. And yes, it is highlighting a very big problem, but yeah, it felt a bit like, I don't know what else we should do kind of thing. And I was more interested to see Matt, going on this goose hunt of trying to find whatever the heck happened to Hector. And once again, it just felt a bit too easy for him to find Frank so quickly.
I just want to know who could have done something like this. It's a travesty.
I did. You see this knife and all the blood on it? Here's my fingerprint.
Like, I don't think I even understood how he did that.
I think he probably just had, I figured that he's probably just been like keeping tabs. I don't think the scene where he finds the bullet casing has anything to do with his ability to find Frank. I think he just was able to find Frank. I don't think they actually explained that in the episode. Just didn't bother me. I was like, yeah, I guess he could do that.
Yeah, that was just like suspension of disbelief. Like, yeah, sure, why not? I do want to say one more thing about the Leroy stuff. Whilst I agree, it felt very rushed, and I think it could have been fleshed out. I understand what they were trying to go for, even if it was chopped together, not that great. Like, because what you said, Katie, about like, it was true about like pushing Matt towards putting on the mask again. Because like, yeah, the seeing Hector's niece, that was step one in this episode, at least step one. The confrontation with the crooked cop, step two. Seeing the judicial system fail this guy, step three, and then all that stuff. So, and then the conversation with Frank and being like, you just want permission and say his name and did Foggy to get life and some shit like that. I can see what they were trying to do. I just think that first chunk of it didn't land as well because it wasn't fleshed out and because, as you said, they were trying to jam so much in to try and fit it all. But yeah, so I can see what they were trying to do. I just don't think the finished product was as good as they probably wanted it to be.
I don't entirely disagree with anything anybody's saying. I can absolutely, now you're describing it more as well, I can see where like things are being pushed together and all this sort of stuff. I'm not finding it as bumpy as everybody else seems to be, which is
that's fair.
Interesting. Though the maybe a bit long, and I can see where things maybe, you know, I can see where people are like, this isn't like hitting as well as it should have and all that sort of stuff. I don't know. I think that the little bits that they are doing a really good job for me, kind of layering it up, what reasons why Matt will eventually start walking back towards being the version that he's suppressing, which is the main thing, is that they're both, the way that they're mirroring Fisk and Matt at the moment is they're literally both, what they're showing is that they're both hiding their true selves under like a performance that they're kind of putting on, essentially. You can't suppress your true self that much without like having, you know, things starting to push in that direction. I don't think I agree about the thing with the niece that you were saying, that he felt like too familiar. I think he was just being concerned because he knew Hector and knew that this was somebody very important to Hector. So he was, you know, he was bringing his own emotion to the moment. I really liked that scene. My main thing from this episode, I think, is once again, I think Charlie Cox is fucking fantastic, and he's doing such a good job in like every scene he's in this show. I think we get peak Matt being sassy, which I always enjoy. That little bit with the woman in the when he's trying to get Leroy's sentence down a lot. I really liked the dialogue in that scene. I thought he played it very well, and I thought it was very fun to watch him verbally go back and forth with people, so showing that, you know, this is a man who is really good at his job.
Right, that's his job.
We got a lot of hypocritical Matt because in that scene with Leroy, where he's pushing something that he doesn't entirely believe in, and he has to be humbled in that moment because I think he knew, you know, instinctively that he was absolutely right, which is, you know, where we got to by the end of that scene, but had to be shown it again. And then a little bit of Matt being Catholic, because, you know, in the scene with Frank, because I think that whole thing was, I mean, a lot of Catholicism, especially when you become an adult, becomes about repressing things, and that's Matt's entire character. He is repressing a lot of things currently. So, you know, these are all things that I very much enjoyed. The Fisk, the stuff with We Built the City, the initial scene, yes, was cringy, but I kind of was like, this is kind of like, you know, I don't usually like secondhand embarrassment things, but this didn't bother me in the same way. It was...
Oh, I sunk. I was just like sitting there, I'm like, no, where's this? Do I skip it? God,
Sorry,
fuck no.
But it was when he got to the Latvian embassy and
oh, fuck no, I had to like bury my head. I'm like, I can't fucking watch
howling
this.
With
Jesus
laughter.
Christ.
But to be fair, that didn't last very long at all, but it did punctuate the point, and it's fucking funny. That was a good joke.
I feel like you either find it fucking funny or like, dear God, make it end.
Tell me how!
There's no in between.
I think Vincent D'Onofrio did a very good job of representing
those
all of us.
Go very, very well.
Yeah, just like when you're sitting in a situation like that and you can't do anything because you have to be there and you have to listen, and you're like,
I read that they had to redo that scene
yes,
with the kids
because they were too good. Yes,
because I was sitting there like, God, I've heard children's choirs are usually really good. This is so bad.
Yep. Just to be fair, I didn't think when you wrote about the cringe part that you were thinking about this scene, because for me the scene that was more cringy was the one with, what the fuck is his name?
Daniel Blake.
The guy who leaks the Dan. It's when he admits that he's the one who leaked it accidentally.
That was
that.
But
that was also cringe as well.
That was very cringe for me.
You know, he got forgiven, so it's all good.
But this is where I realized, and I have to point this out as someone who's also doing acting, the ability that Vincent D'Onofrio has to talk with his mouth barely open is insanely impressive, because they showed him a lot from the side in that scene, and you can actually see that when he speaks, he's barely opening his mouth, like his teeth is barely, opening, like how he would you would speak normally and how Vincent speaks normally. So that's another technique that he got for Kingpin's role, and I think it's just unreal. And he can still get out the same sounds and everything, and it's really hard to keep this up because yes, I can do it as well, but it feels very put on. And with him, it feels very natural. And I'm like,
this is such good shit.
I also wouldn't be surprised there's probably a bit of ADR going on to
I was going about to say, is there a chance there's like ADR just like as like a backing just to make sure nothing's lost?
He probably also has that ability, but like they absolutely have gone in with ADR to make sure that everything, because he is so soft spoken that I think it'd be very easy to lose that with unset sound. So they probably go in with ADR, but like still to be able to get that and like make it seem very seamless is just impressive filmmaking as well.
It is. So I'm like, I'm always impressed by him. I think again he's brilliant. But these little things that I keep noticing in his performance are like top notch. But that scene was fucking cringe, and I'm really sorry again for that guy, for Dan. It's not about the actor, but that character is, I swear, is the new Karen.
He's a little bitch.
But like I think that's what's really interesting about that scene, is that obviously he's a fucking tryhard. And that is in the text, but the thing that is important about that scene is that Fisk is realizing the difference between like bought loyalty and earned loyalty, because this is a guy that is just absolutely willing to follow him to the ends of the earth, and he's realizing that this is a far more powerful version of loyalty than he's probably ever had in his life. And you can see the wheels turning in the back of his head, like going like, there's something about like that part of him that is the Kingpin is realizing how he can take advantage of this and what are the ways that he can like use this to hit to further his own goals. Which is why I really like that scene, even if it was cringe, but like that's the text.
To read makes our speaking English good.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Don't make it no cringe.
Yeah.
I'm usually so horribly bad with secondhand embarrassment to the point where I will actively pause things that I can't handle. It's why I've never watched The Office. I would never be able to handle it properly. I barely made it through Parks and Rec at times where I was just like, I can't do it, especially when it's done for comedy. There's like certain types of like cringe comedy I can't go anywhere near, but for those bits for me thread that line very well. I think mostly just because I wasn't expecting it to come in with the second punch. I was like, that's good. I like that. Good job.
Did you think it was cringe, Ian, or did you? I don't remember. Did you say it was cringe as well?
I like the song "We Built the City" on Rock and Roll by Jefferson Starship.
I don't know. Just craziness coming in, manifesting, because I want to talk about my boy. Everyone knows I love John Bernthal. He's one of my favorite actors out there today. I'm always glad to see him. I love him as Frank Castle. He once again brought absolute A-game. I do have to agree that I think the only reason, because it's no secret, this episode made me cry, and it was the scene between Frank and Matt. So that's no secret. But I think the only reason, if I'm thinking back on it honestly, that I cried is because they are fucking good actors, and they really, really sold the entire scene.
The kids, what they say now, Paul? What they call what I do? They call this cinema.
But I do have to agree that why is this happening now?
Yeah,
like
I 100% do. I think I had that thought at the time as well. I was like, this does feel premature.
Very, very premature. I'm like, why they just met again? So I'm like, why is this taking place now? Afterwards, because feels and everything, I was in my feels, so I wasn't thinking about it that much when I was watching the episode. But afterwards, I was like, yeah, I don't know if it fits right now. I don't know how else I would have brought in Frank. And obviously we don't know yet if how big of a role he's gonna have in later episodes, or if he's even gonna be back. Maybe that was it, but I would doubt it, I would say. But still, despite this feeling, I will have to say it was a brilliantly acted scene, and it was still very touching, and it made sense, I guess, for Frank to be the one who asks this very tough questions from Matt. I just really think it shouldn't have been here.
It's hard because I can kind of see why they'd put it here, in terms of like how they're building things up, and like if you're tracking it alongside where Fisk is, like he needs like somebody to talk about certain bits and pieces with. For me, the thing that doesn't work in that scene specifically is all of like, I think it's too premature in how much they've laid the groundwork with how much repression we're seeing from Matt about Foggy's death. I feel like we're not seeing enough of the fact that that's affecting him. I feel like they've almost kept it too close to the chest. So this feels a little bit that's why that feels premature to me. This like specifically the breakdown. Break it down. But also, it's doing two things, and those two things are kind of butting up against each other when it comes to the scene. In terms of like what it's doing for Matt, how he's like relating to Foggy's death, and also deciding to go up on the roof and play about with the batons again. And I think that's not to do with like this like the scene in particular so much as like how much they've actually all the work they've done up until this point to make this scene work. I don't think that the groundwork was there enough for this scene to work where it is. I did think it was very funny that the moment Frank and Matt see each other, their entire relationship was, oh my god, you piss me off so much just by like existing in my presence. They're so mad at each other. They haven't seen each other in a really long time.
That makes me mad.
Well, I don't know if that's true. Like, he knows where his hideout is.
Well, like, the impression I got was that they hadn't, like, just because, we haven't seen each other, like, I imagine that he was, like, keeping tabs on where he was, but, like, this is not a relationship where they go and hang out with each other,
No, but Frank doesn't hang out with anybody.
I would hang out with him.
No, but he doesn't.
He would hang out with me. I'm cool.
Yeah, as much as Lily doesn't want to admit it, he would absolutely hang out with Karen.
Why would you say that?
Because that's their relationship is like that.
Yeah.
It just felt like we were starting halfway through a conversation. Like you got the meet up with the acts,
I can kind of
and then there was 5 scenes missing, probably where he goes back and forth to that hideout over a number of weeks, and then you could have that conversation.
Tom?
I don't know, it just doesn't bug me.
No.
You wanted to say something. I saw your finger go.
No, I think I forgot. I think it was in the moment, and now it's gone.
And it's gone.
I forgot.
What have I actually got in here about this bit? Yeah, the acting in that scene was amazing. I said, speaking of Frank, time has done nothing to quell that man's rage, huh? He's still pissed as hell.
As he should be.
And then I said, every moment we see Matt struggling with his desire to be violent, the happier I am.
I really liked the conversation, but this was also where I felt the most it was from different showrunners and everything. Mm-hmm. Because basically what all of you have said, where like it feels too soon and everything like that, I agree with that. But also, I think this is the only way they could have done it with the stuff they've been given. Because whilst, yes, it would be nice, as you said, Ian, for them to go back and forth over like several weeks, maybe even several episodes, and like build up that foundation. Mm-hmm. I think in the context of this season and having to use the old stuff as well, I don't think they had enough time to get the story they wanted to tell and make that sort of long form sort of like building between the two of them, character building. Also, just want to think, this is on my mind, his 2 new sidekicks, the ex-cop and his lawyer partner, they weren't in his episode like at all. Maybe like
lawyer partner was.
The lawyer partner was.
Like as a silhouette in a building, but that was about it. Like, are we not going to see them anymore? Because it's like, okay, this is new stuff. Bye. No, but it's because they've been present in the first 3 a lot, and so just most of their exclusion. Does that mean?
Fuck me. If they put any more shit in this episode, then it would have even been more worse. You couldn't cram any more stuff in. Like any more partial storylines would have just been it would make me fall. I might have even jibbed out of the show.
That's too much, man.
Ooh, Ian is harsh today. You're harsh today. Wow.
One thing that you've got written down in, but I'll just say that the BB stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Was it you liked it, didn't you?
I did.
Because I still
didn't
hate
like
it.
I liked it. I liked it a little bit better this week. I felt like it was a little bit more on point with what the episode was doing. I still don't think. I'm still not huge on it though.
Because I would agree with you, Kate, that because they've got the BB stuff with all like the shots of New York, and then they still show shots of New York. I can get their transition shots.
This is my point.
Yeah,
if you're going to do one or the other, don't do both.
Yeah.
I like the BB report. I like that they show the man on the streets because again, court of public opinion. Most of this is public eye as well. Right now, the public opinion, and maybe this is another one of those threads of it's a commentary on liberal freaking media that BB's maybe a little bit too lefty, but right now everyone's against Fisk in her report anyway, because union busting, trash on the streets, and it's getting really stinky out there. We really like vigilantes, but Fisk is against them. Boo, Fisk is shit. I'm saying public opinion, Lily. I'm not saying that I think that Fisk is shit.
I didn't say anything. I just told my.
It's so funny when shows like this try to put in like a properly leftist character, because they're never that. She's like kind of cresting liberal, where I'm like, okay. It's fine. It's serviceable. But
center left.
Yeah, but that's what liberal is really center left. If we're going for like leftist, that's like left, But it's just always so funny to me because I'm like, okay. I mean, I see what you're doing, but she's not
a fucking she's not militant like protesting on the streets and like gluing herself to the fucking tarmac. But she's fairly left wing in this instance, right?
It is very interesting to me to see the idea that Fisk would union bust, because he feels like somebody who would be very pro-union to me.
Fisk,
like on the surface, where he'd be like,
as long as that union was controlled by the mob.
Exactly, that's the sort of thing I'm thinking of. Where I think he would want to be seen as being very pro-union, because he comes from Hell's Kitchen, and the whole thing was like he wanted to help that neighborhood specifically and like invigorate it and all this sort of stuff. And unions are very, pretty huge because there's a lot of blue collar work that comes from lower income places. So like unions tend to be pretty intense. Also, unions also tend to be very tied to like in those sorts of spaces end up being very tied to like mob activity, which is why I'm thinking why I was like, he seems like somebody who should be at least visibly. I think he'd want to be seen as pro-union. I think if he came up against an actual union with actual union demands, he'd find them extremely irritating. That's
probably
just that's just a stray observation. But
yeah. Well, he's already finding like the bureaucracy of the mayorship annoying.
Yeah.
Like,
he
was at the port and he's like, let's just do it. You can't do that. We have to go to this committee. Okay, let's do that. Oh, but we have to submit a plea to the committee. Okay, do that. Oh, but actually we need approval for the plea. Is that the first step? No, it's this. Okay, do the first step. And that's where he seems starting to get pissed off, and then he has the school shit, and then
I can't wait for him to just blow up. I really can't.
Go full. He is going to end up full dictator.
Yeah.
I was waiting for him to smash that desk, like after how he came out. It was my fault. I was thinking like, okay, he's going to turn around, smash the desk.
Reagan smash. Reagan smash.
Later. I know it's going to happen. It's going to be glorious. All right. I say let's rate this episode and also give some predictions.
I have other things to talk about. I like the scene at the end where we see Fisk as a monster behind closed doors in this little dungeon with Adam, as we were wondering where Adam was. Adam is in a cage.
Adam is in a cage.
Of course he is. The fucking massive plate of just carbs and meat because he can't be seen like eating like the way he wants to eat, so all of his like terrible stuff is literally under the city. I like that a lot. It was that I was like, man, that's a hell of a thing.
That was a hell of a thing.
Oh yeah, there was a When I Was a Boy sighting. So for anybody who's doing the Daredevil bingo card, Fisk saying "When I was a boy," starting a very long story. At that, I was like, that made me cheer.
Go on, Tom.
I was just talking about Muse because we haven't mentioned Muse yet.
Yeah.
Like, I'm intrigued by him, but also I'm confused. Like, is he just killing people for funsies? Because it looks like he's just killing for funsies.
It's another thing that didn't need to be in this episode.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think this is a thing that doesn't need to be in this season.
Maybe. Probably.
We've got a lot going on throughout, so it does feel like I feel like it's adding something into the sandwich of like vigilante stuff going on. So he's going to be in the side of like bad vigilanteism. I'm guessing, but from what I've read about him, he's pretty fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna be. He's gonna be.
If you needed to tease him, you could have kept with just the graffiti, like the graffiti on the walls with Muse on it, next to the White Tiger graffiti. Like sandwiching this whole episode in 2 Muse scenes when you didn't use them for the whole thing, it just was just not. It intrigues me. He's got a cool fucking mask. It's a bit weird. As like you can see him breathing under that mask. The little movement in the mask is actually annoying, but and creepy. But got a cool mask. Don't know why he's wearing a beanie over his mask. Got a
He's
cool
cool
mask.
like that. He's cool.
That would have to be horrible to breathe through because at a certain point it just becomes that part is just soggy, so you're just breathing in your own saliva.
Yeah,
that's how you know he's not right there.
He's fucked up.
Yeah, but it's also fucking disgusting.
Yeah, exactly.
He could be a good villain, but yeah, I don't. We didn't need him today.
Yeah. Yes,
my
Katie.
last thought is because it's been a couple of episodes, and I've had enough time to let it sit. I don't care about Matt's relationship with Heather. I don't think it's adding anything.
That was one thing that I wanted to write in Discord as well. Like, I don't understand what we're doing with that, or why we need to see anything. Just because she was put into the position to be Fisk's couple therapist.
I guess they needed a reason for her to exist in the story outside of being their therapist. But
that's not true.
All it does, I think this is the thought process, but all it does is make her a female character that's there to serve not 1 but 2 male characters within the narrative. Because she's there to be Matt's girlfriend and also Fisk's therapist. You know?
I know, yeah.
Yes, like, I like her fine, but we have absolutely no context as to who she is outside of her job or her relationship with Matt. So she ends up coming across really flat.
She is really
And I think the woman playing her is doing a perfectly fine job, but I'm just like...
This links back to what I thought when she was first introduced, and I know, Kay, you didn't like the idea, but I reckon she's just going to be killed by Fisk as a way to get to Matt, because like it's
probably
not going to be a good thing, because it's just fridging someone, as I say, just a flat character. Yeah. But if that's the case, if at this point they haven't done that much with her, besides Matt girlfriend, Fisk therapist, she's going to dig too deep into their relationship. Fisk's going to figure out that she's dating Matt, and then as Matt's going to start, interfering with him, he's like, okay, bet, dead, haha, I've killed your loved one, don't fuck with me, and that's going to be like, make him go fight.
I think so too. I think they're just setting up the whole thing to either be a hostage to Fisk at the end and, make Matt something do that he doesn't want to do, or she's just going to straight up die.
If it's going that way, I don't think it'll be very specifically about Matt. I think that will just be a sort of side effect of it.
Oh no, at the moment,
if anything, I think if they're going to push it, if I'm thinking about it 4D chess style, they'll be like, well, we can't just kill her because she's Matt's girlfriend. She'll have to do something to make it seem like she brought her own death upon herself, so that it'll make it seem like she has more agency in the narrative, and by association will give Matt some more angst on top of all the rest of the stuff he's got going on. but it will be exactly as you're saying. It will be like on the wider scale. It will be, oh, you've killed Matt's girlfriend, and therefore Matt is sad. But they'll try and finagle it in a way that makes it seem like she has more agency in this narrative than she actually does.
I think it's more likely that Muse is going to kill her than King.
Ooh,
no, that's a good point.
That's a good idea, actually. We'll see. We'll see what the future holds. But I say, let's rate this episode. Pew 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 pew. All right, let's read it. Let's start with someone who is going to give the best score, Katie.
Well, I had when I watched the episode, to me, I was like, this is a 9. I'll take it down to an 8.5. I still think it's very good.
Okay, 8.5 from Katie, and
You're
then
going to juxtapose it by putting me next to you.
Yes, Ian.
Go on then.
Please rate this episode.
It's a 4.
Did that just happen? Yes. Yes, it did. I feel like a czar.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a really bad episode. It doesn't come together. It tries to do too much. It's too packed. The story beats aren't coherent. To me, it's not. It's not a good episode of TV.
I don't agree with the 4. I don't agree with the 4. But
Yeah.
go on, go on. I know. I'm just saying. I think that's too harsh, but go on.
You know, maybe it's partially the headspace I was going into it with. Maybe I wasn't in a great mood, but I think maybe I would have popped off more if I didn't see Frank as the thumbnail for the fucking thing in Disney Plus. You know, but I knew he was coming for the whole fucking thing. It underwhelmed. So there we go. It's a 4 for me.
It's a 4.
I gave it a 7 purely because I really liked the conversation between Frank and Matt at the end. It would have been like maybe a 5 or a 6, but because of like how it was so well acted, and I really like those scenes with like the dialogue heavy in between two characters and the bouncing back and forth, different ideologies. So that's why it'd be 7, because I also like the tone that it seems to be moving in the direction of. Slowly, but I'm liking the direction more so than the past few episodes.
Yeah, I would give it a 7 as well. I like this episode the most out of all of them, I would say, because I'm very biased. There's no secret behind it that I love Frank, and more. Fisk is also always a winner.
I am shocked. Well, not that shocked.
And I got both, so Lily's happy, Lily cried. That's already a point up. But I also will say that the other reason I gave it a 7 is because the promise of those last shots between Fisk and Matt, and how their whole parade is slowly breaking down, and we are heading towards a darker tone and situation. Hopefully, I'm really hoping for that it is where we're heading off to. So yeah, 7, and still hoping for the best. Still, I think once we hit that 6 episode mark, probably that's when a lot of it is going to change. And I think maybe that's also why a lot of these things feel a bit, or not just a bit, but a lot like they are shoehorned in. So we'll see. I still have faith. I said it in the last episode. I will say it again. I still have faith that it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. It's never going to reach the levels that the first series reached. I think that's quite clear, but it can get close still if they really bring it up.
So interesting to me that you've given this a 7, Lily, because I'm sure that you've said in the past, if you cry, then it's not like below an 8 or something.
I know, but I had to realize that in the past I was too lighthearted with things.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've told you that.
Yeah. So I need to learn to be a bit more critical, and just because something makes me cry doesn't mean that
it's good.
Yeah. So I'm learning. I did a lot of self-reflecting.
just throw in one final thing about that last that conversation between Matt and Frank that I really, really liked, that I just stood out to me very specifically, was when Frank pushed him far enough that Matt hit him, and then he turned around and went, "I apologize," because he's really trying to save face and really trying to stick to that point. That was probably my favorite part of the entire scene, where he's like,
"It was really
bitch,
good,
that was the most honest thing you did the entire time." I'm like, I also like Foggy was the kindest, purest soul I ever met. That really was just...
But I was thinking, because I didn't rewatch the first 3 seasons, but didn't Foggy cheat on someone? For some reason, I have that very weird memory of like...
But also, you have to remember, he's heroified him in his head. All he has now is the memory, and you
I know.
Smooth out memories of people,
He left the practice and joined the evil law firm from Jessica Jones.
Yeah, he was with Carrie Ann Moss for a while.
Yeah.
And then he realised, no, I must go back to my roots, and that's how they ended up with Nelson Murdoch on Page at the end of 3rd season.
See, I never seen Jessica Jones. There you go.
He was gonna run for, like, council or something like that. I can't remember the specifics, but
that doesn't matter.
He ran a campaign in season 3. I remember that.
All right, this was us talking about Daredevil Born Again, episode 4. I don't remember the episode titles, so don't.
I think this
there you
one's
go.
called, no, because I looked at this one and was like, that's interesting. It's Six Semper Systema.
There you go.
Six Semper Tyrannis is what.
Just like how I said it. There you go. Anyway, this was us. There was no, there was no penis on the chest.
No,
so
we did see the cross on the chest, and that made me very happy.
Yes. Not the cock though.
Not
the cock.
Not the cock though. So
which we won't see.
Which we won't,
because I stumbled.
You never
on
know.
Word.
You never know. He might do yoga in the next episode.
We're gonna get like a Jason Isaacs in the White Lotus moment.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. You never know. But yes, this was Katie, Ian, Thomas, and myself, Lily Kay, talking about Daredevil. We're going to be back next week. Until then, don't forget to read our articles on Couch Soup. I really should write my article. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm on it. In my head, it's already written. I just need to actually sit down and write it down. You're going to hear us with a new schedule with Katie on 2 other films we judged before. Announcement coming soon. And then we also going to be here on Couch Soup, and you can watch us because we're going to be back with other stuff as well, and new things are coming to Couch Soup as well. So look forward to that. Watch back episodes. We did a lot. Soon Ender is coming, and then the rest of us is coming back as well. So that's going to be very, very packed, especially for me because I'm doing both. So be prepared. There you go. Yay. There you have it. So you're going to see our faces. That's the main thing. But until then, be good. Watch movies and TV. Check out Couch Soup a lot because, we're great. And subscribe, rate us on Spotify. That always helps, and on other platforms as well. And this is goodbye.
Double X episode next week. We built this thing.
We built this city on rock and roll.
You don't have the pipes for this.
Built
Just
this
stop.
city.
Stop. No.
On rock
The
and roll.
city. Yeah.
Dum 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 dum.
You see,
Tom,
the number of people
you can come back.
On Twitter who thought that Matt said Latveria or Latveria, or I can't remember.
It's Latvia, yeah.
It's Latvia, guys. It's a real country.
Wait, real countries in my comic books? What?
Not the fake ones?
It's not like Sokovia, which is totally not real? What?
My God.
Latveria is where Dr. Doom's from, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why I think people were going like, "Oh my God!" It's like, no, guys, it's just Latvia.
It's just Latvia.
The actual place, Latvia.
Oh my God, a real place.
Oh,
Real place, these nuts.